So Reliance has inspired me too much to be an entrepreneur. Plan only scalable business model. In investments, you got to respect the promoter. I have made a lot of money, but KP Energy changed the trajectory. Our products, which are sold at 10 rupees, have a superior ingredients. Earlier, we also lost about 7 crores, on development of vitamin and development of the market for it. We live life of Valencia now. We eat, drink, think. We do only Valencia. But investment is not in capital in terms of shareholding. The way I narrated it, you have to invest in your people who work for you. We have a vision of being a 5th largest beverage company.
Hi Manish, thank you so much for joining us today.
And thank you very much for inviting me, Prashasti.
Perfect. So before we go into the details of Valencia, let's talk about your journey. You have had 40 years of journey through the Indian stock markets. So from BSE's ring floors to founding your own listed nutrition company, tell us what inspired this transition from being an investor to an entrepreneur.
Well, during my early days, I used to observe in stock market a lot of brokers were there and they were good people, but the system was there that in a way it amounted to a closed club. None of the fault of the individuals, but the system developed over 100 years was like that. So it was not much conducive to the investors at that point in time. Then government took initiative about forming of National Stock Exchange and then introduced SEBI. And with that, a lot of change came, which was pro-investor. So when the investors' focus was projected, the companies also started focusing on the wealth creation. And that's how the new trend emerged. And I understood Indian capital market, walking on the streets of Dalal Street and climbing all the floors of Bombay Stock Exchange, interacting with all those people from those eras. Everybody has something or other to teach me and make me understand. And one thing which I must mention, and it will be incorrect and impolite, Mr. Nemish, founder of Enam Financial, who is our relative also, he was very kind enough and he has guided me in the stock market because I wanted to learn research. He taught me research during his absolutely busy schedule. Busy means he had no time even to, for 2-3 minutes he had no patience. A lot of people used to come and meet him, a lot of phone calls used to come. Still he used to, spare time for me, allow me to sit in front of him for 1 hour, allow me to call up early in the morning at home. So my foundation of equity research was very much laid by Mr. Nemisha. And then about your migration to, this entrepreneurship. See, I was always an entrepreneur from my college days. As I grew up and as I started studying, in 91 we started reading books which were coming from USA. And as I started reading Warren Buffett, I understood his portfolio was long and the prime being Coca-Cola. So I wanted to invest in a company like Coca-Cola, but there was no such company like that in India at that point in time. I requested, one of the big private company at that point in time, but they had no such plans. I met them. They were kind enough to call me. I said, you take money, but he says, why do we take money? We have enough money. I said, then use it for, international expansion. The world will have a third brand of, without naming the brand, but he said, no, itna to socha hi nahi. But it's a good idea, but anyway, it didn't work. Gradually, I started understanding the intricacies of Indian corporate sector, how it works, how wealth formation doesn't happen too much. I'm talking of pre-90s, before Infosys IPO came. It was Infosys which propelled this wealth creation for the minority shareholders, and that's how the entire trend emerged. And even management started inviting us, discussing about their future plans and all. That groomed me, indirectly like an entrepreneur, as an industrialist. I have met many of them. I used to attend a lot of AGMs also. And I had a privilege to speak with Mr. Tata also on 2 occasions. And one time Mr. Aditya Birla also. And one time with our Dhirubhai Ambani also. and I used to read everything and anything which is published about most of the industries, but specifically of the Reliance Industries. And in a way, I have learned it from a distance how the enterprise is built in India, under the Indian system. So Reliance has inspired me too much to be an entrepreneur. And all the quotes and all, they are too liberal in sharing their success journey. You know, the Mukesh Bhai also, Nita Bhabhi also. So being in Bombay, that is an advantage. You know, you are in proximity to successful people, more foresightedful people. And that's how it is. And then I wanted to develop a company which is, from my research I found out that, whichever are the companies who are not in technology but other walks of life, they produce small items of price, small MRP with a repetitive consumption pattern. Those are the companies which creates highest wealth. I met owners of Vico Vajradanti for listing them in 1990. That why don't you list it, because we have only one Colgate. But they were also modest. We have no such visions. So my company now, and I understood that if in India you have to create larger wealth, such as Mr. Warren Buffett, you have to work yourself here. You won't find such companies, wherein you just invest and be a passive investor, and then you create that kind of wealth. So now at my, Manish 2.0 now, as an investorpreneur, I'm going to create something like that. It will be an attempt. It will take about 10-20 years, but I'm working towards that journey. And I'm trying to create the companies within the Valencia Nutrition Limited, which I would have as an investor loved to, invest. And that has, the thought process behind turning into entrepreneurship is this. So investment and entrepreneurship. Earlier I was just an investor in Valencia Nutrition, and as maybe designed by Almighty, I'm a now promoter and I'm running the company.
That's wonderful. So, you spoke about your early journey, you spoke about you now being an investorpreneur, right? So, earlier you have backed companies like Titan, Bharti Airtel, TTK Prestige, and you've also had a very nice history of being an investor, and you've met such successful people. Tell us your key investment lessons and how these lessons are helping you shape the business building strategies at Valencia.
It's absolutely very valid questions. It's something like an actor is turning into a director and producer also. So probability of succeeding that kind of a movie is better. And we have also seen in Indian film industry, the producer, actor, director, if is almost the same, there is a mega hit. So, I had learned one thing that in investments, you got to respect the promoter, because he can turn around any of the analysis of any sharpest of the analysts in the stock market. He can really, create miracles. If somebody says this guy cannot do it, this ecology is so bad, the foreign influence of this kind of products are too much, you cannot create wealth. But if the promoter is determined, he will create wealth out of all the negativities, they have. And I used to search lotus in muddy water, which is a common parlance in our investment world. The industry is in mass, but there is a beautiful one company which is shaping up very nicely, and really working very, very much for the wealth creation and market dominance. And in 2016, I came across promoters from Surat. I met them early in 2013 and 14, and that is KP Energy. They had not much to demonstrate in terms of balance sheet. Today, many people come and ask me, what is your sales and turnover? First question. So those are primary questions, like a questioning of like a school kids. That's not the way businesses have to be understood in terms of investments in equity. If you are a lender, then you can question of sales and cash flows and all. You are an investor, you have to see the future, not the present. That is equity investment. So I understood them, and renewable energy I wanted always to be in part. I had been watching NEPC Mekon in 1989, then Suzlon. I had lost 10 lakh rupees in Rayalaseema Power, renewable power in 1995. So I understood that this promoter is good, he will do it. And I always like EPC models, that is engineering, procurement and construction. Today the new terminology for that is balance of plant. So they don't manufacture the turbine, but they do everything, wind farm setting up, construction. Turbine is only outsourced. That is where you have highest earnings. That was my lessons, and I invested, I played out from 6 crore 44 lakh. The company created market capitalization of more than 4,000 crore in 8 years. They have not raised any single money. So one thing was the model itself was correct. Second thing, the promoter was also correct. This is how wealth creation happens.
Right, right.
So summary of lesson was I ended in a positive way, because there is no point in repeating the negative lessons. There are so many.
So your this Valencia super drinks are basically affordable and functional, and they focus on tier 3 and 4 markets more, right? So which are usually the markets that are missed out on by these big FMCG brands. Was that another learning through your investment phase? And especially if we talk about the gap in that market, how do you see it, and how did your Bounce super drinks solve for it?
See, I'm going to tell you which is normal. I'm not going to reveal the secrets because it will be detrimental to my own business. But I used to travel in India. I love India, in the hinterlands of India. And my wife also always accompanied me during my early journey in research. She started coming to company visits and meetings, and meeting with non-resident Indians or Swiss bankers and people coming from US and all from 1999. So I used to travel, for the personal visits, site visits of the companies. During there, I used to start liking Indian terrain and people from the tier 3, tier 4 markets, because plants are normally in the area. I had visited Titan in 1999 for an AGM, and that was also good earning. Mr. Zexus Desai was the chairman then, and Mr. Biju Kurian at that visit, he took me to the round of Titan plant, and I had visited Jamnagar in 2006, which Mukesh Bhai took about 260 people when he was setting up the second phase of a refinery of 27 million barrels per day. And then that was also a big learning for me. They had provided us 1 day stay also, and it was a good learning. I have visited several plants, but these two are distinctly I remember wherein the value, I know how value is created at the plant level. If the plant is correct, the value anyway gets created in the equity markets. And about tier 2, 3 or 3, the consumers in India have money. Money is there all across, but they were not provided with the goods which they deserve, the products which they deserve. In the primary restriction which I have observed is the sales people never wanted to travel to tier 3, tier 4. They were really happy serving tier 1, tier 2, and they were passing the message to top management that there is nothing in tier 3, tier 4. See, this is the vital learning I have understood in my way. I may be wrong. I am nothing against the community of people who are into sales, but I have observed this. They want to reside more here obviously for the better quality of life. That's one of the reasons. And second is our rural India, tier 3, tier 4, they are very fragmented. See, if you can serve somebody in a concentrated way, in town, in Bombay, we have clusters of society where we have 500, 600 flats in one complex, which is something larger than even a village. So serving that is easy because there is one point of service. Here the service is difficult. But there are methods to navigate it, which to an extent I have found out, and we are fairly successful. So first thing is that, so I have to counter less in terms of deploying my resources to win the customer. So that's the strategy. And when you want to serve somebody, serve him with the better products. They have been drinking jeera and lemon and cola and I'm not talking of the branded colas, the unbranded colas, and many other products like lemonade and all. Trust me, you and me can't drink it, but people have been drinking it for many years because their immunity is very good. Our products, which are sold at 10 rupees, have a superior ingredients. Ingredients are same, sodium bicarbonate or whatever, malic acid, whatever. It's the same, but the quality is superior. We infuse even vitamins. Vitamin dosing is very small, but anyway, vitamins are to be consumed in a small decimal. So that's how we want to serve. We have superior products also. Now we are entering into many other biscuits and snacks and A2 cow milk also. Functional beverages. Hereunto functional beverages was never even heard of in tier 2, tier 3.
Right.
But now with the advent of the social media and our channels such as yourself, people understand the value of health, daily workout, daily intake of ingredients in terms of protein and nutrition and other things. So there is a huge market, and we are going to serve them with multiple products and multiple formats, like visi-coolers and fountain machines, and opening up the Bounce Cafe itself, or encouraging the local vendor to take our gadgets and then we keep supplying them.
In your product line, there is a very interesting product which is Bounce Vitalize, right? Which is amongst the lowest sugar consumption functional drink in India. So tell us about this product innovation strategy that you had in your mind, especially when it comes to this product and when it comes to health, repeat consumption and affordability. Because affordability becomes a very crucial factor, especially when you think about health and wellness.
It will be impolite if I don't mention the previous promoter. Vitalize was her concept. She was Dipti Anand, and she started in 2013, April. She first started with Vita-Me, which was very good drink in terms of vitamin and values, but it was not sweet. So consumer rejected it outright. So by that time about 4 crores were lost. Then I started putting money from December 2017, and before that also we gave some temporary loan, and Vitalize was developed during those era. Vitalize is basically evolved from Vita-Me, and that's how it was evolved. Now we have perfected it more in a way that now the strategy will not fail. Earlier we also lost about 7 crores on development of Vita-Me and development of the market for it. So I have decided not to develop market now. I've gone other way around from my learnings of Indian and international companies' strategies, and I'm going in a non-formatted way to approach this penetration of Vitalize in India and in especially GCC countries. That will be a flagship product, but we have developed many flagship products now. Earlier it was only one, Marshall, which was also not properly, horse-backed. But now we have laser-guided guns and a lot of missiles also to, penetrate all these markets. This is the only thing I can share with you. Rest you will see when it happens, when it reaches your town and your village.
So on that, I'm going to try and dive a little deeper. You own 65% stake you have in Valencia right now. That's like real skin in the game. And you've already spoken about expanding your products to different geographies. Could you talk to us a little bit about your vision? How do you envision Valencia when it comes to your Indian expansion, especially if you talk about next, say, 3 to 5 years?
See, the word skin in the game, I heard it from Mr. Uday Kotak. When he was referring to steel plants, in early 90s, he said steel plant owners have no skin in the game. I knew what it is, the phenomenon, but how it is spoken was from Mr. Uday Kotak. See, promoter have to have a larger commitment in terms of capital, in terms of brain share, in terms of living style. Me and my wife and all other boys in office and girls in office, we live life of Valencia now. We eat, drink, think. We do only Valencia discussions and plannings, and or some kind of integration or some kind of a takeover or some kind of setting up of a plant. And just referring to this your previous question, how we are going to reach to so many people. We have a vision of being a fifth largest beverage company. We have other divisions also, but fifth largest we want to be by 2030. That's our aspiration. Why fifth? Because fourth will be Reliance, Coca-Cola. Third is combined Parle and Tata Global Beverages. Second is Pepsi, and first is Coca-Cola. So to achieve that, I will have to have number of plants. That's how I have created a special task group which deals in the setup of plant. This is what I learned from Tata Projects and Reliance Industry, how they created refinery. The refinery which is built here is magnificent. It was built at a much lower cost. It can process all the sweet and sour crude also, and it can withstand all the high sea, high tide and low tide. The port, my God, what a planning! If that kind of a complex planning can be executed, setting up beverage plants are not so complex as refinery, where even international plays are there, governments are involved. Here it's a free play. There is no government intervention. Government policies are very clear. We have absolutely no harassments from any of the government personals anywhere. And today it is very, by the way, just to tell you one more thing, in 80s and 90s it was tough to set up companies and industry. The legislation was too cumbersome. We had a red tapeism. Now most of the things have been clean. Everywhere from central government, this has been clean in every way, be it in income tax, GST, every way. Even the external environment like electricity, roads, everything is so good. Even the vendor base has evolved in last 30 years so good. It's very easy to set up industry and a factory. I have seen my earlier generation struggling and slogging when they had a factory. And they had pledged, taken a vow not to set up factory because family life gets disturbed, your health gets disturbed. Today it is absolutely the 180 degree. It's most easy to set up plants now. Only thing, you should have a commitment. You should have a willingness to work properly and plan properly. You cannot just say all the checkbox and okay, now I will enjoy, go and party and go to Switzerland and all. No, you have to get involved also in execution. Even the young team, which is today's Indian youth, Gen Z plus millennial, are very, very good in terms of focus. I must admit, if this generation was present in 60s and 70s, India would have been world leader at that, starting from then. But we couldn't achieve it because of colonial mindset of that generation. Britishers had butchered the confidence of entire Indian community. So, but now it is coming back. Maybe grandsons of those people only are rising, and our granddaughters are also rising. So this generation is creating this possible. I have a vision, I have a money, I have a foresight, and I have a experience to implement it. But who actually does this is this generation. I invite anybody who is very, very sharp and very focused and very much professional in the work he does. They play around. There is no harm in being relaxed or chilling out and all. Only advice or whatever caution I must say. They all have a habit of late night sleeping. We as a learneds and government at their stage should encourage that sleep early. This should be the mission even from our Human Resource Development Ministry as well. That you have, like how we had a Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, which is so magnificently executed. Today India is Swachh. We are so proud of this mission getting accomplished. Mr. Modi started this from the Red Fort. And today we have achieved it because he involved all the people along. So this is also, I want to mention this in this interview, that if something can be done and media releases should be there should be carpet bombing of this ad or social media. Sleep early, latest by 11 o'clock, and have 8 hours of night sleep. Even Mr. Akshay Kumar also mentioned once in the recent interview that they sleep at 3 and then they wake up at 10. That's not the sleep of 8 hours. You have to sleep early. Akshay Kumar sleeps very early, but 11 is fine. Sleep at 11, get up at 7, then fine. You can do exercise, workout, reach office early, take proper breakfast. In our office also, kids used to have three meals of outside, not home meal. So I had to buy a separate flat, put up a Maharaj. All the food is from our home. Morning breakfast, afternoon, and evening some light meal. So this is what is the message I want to give.
Right. So before I let you go, I have to.
One more thing.
Yeah.
See, you mentioned about 65% shareholding. Given a choice, I would own 75% also, which is permitted in the stock exchange rules. But investment is not in capital in terms of shareholding. The way I narrated it, you have to invest in your people who work for you. Industrialists will have to do that. You have to walk extra mile to groom them. And occasionally you are repeating your past experiences so that they minimize their mistakes. So lunchtime is what I take this opportunity to narrate.
Makes sense. So, you have mentioned your wife, I think a couple of times in this interview now, and I need to ask you this, that, what role has your wife and co-founder, Meghna, what role has she played in developing the ethos of Valencia?
I got married to Meghna in 4th December 1993. Having seen many girls, that was an arranged marriage era. And by 99, I could understand one thing very clearly. She is the only one who is holding my flag. So from 1999, I started. She was a singer. I said, I don't want you to sing professionally. You sing whenever there is an occasion among our family functions and friends function, which she does. She started taking care of home and all. By 1999, I said she had a lot of potential. And nobody in family understood what is equity research. We had all the cousins in broking. So none of them were trying to realize that what work I do after the ring hours, trading hours, is more vital. So there used to be puzzles, Even on Saturday I used to go and meet a lot of investors and sometimes some industrialist or some trader who is a big one. Trading community in India is still big and they were very dominant, They hold stock of 1,000 crores. So they are also a backbone of one entire value chain. So she started coming with me on the plant visits and all. So it helped me also in terms of, plant visits and all are not romantic. They are boring. Even reading newspapers and analyzing, running through hundreds of datas and all, they are boring. I think one of my investor observed it and told me 3 years ago, he mentioned it in the group of people, that for 20 years Manish has done nothing but reading and analyzing. And there was no chance to speak, so I have never spoken. This is the first time I am speaking so vocally. So she started coming, interacting with everybody, with full enthusiasm. As I mentioned, that NRIs were also Gujaratis, many of them. So their wives were also very comfortable with Meghna. Same way, the Swiss banker, he also used to eat Jain meal with us. So then, as we grew, she started, recalling the previous visits conversation. It started acting as a flashback memory for me. Sometime I am talking, she will remind that this is what it is. So the vital points were brought out by her. That's how she, interacted. And see, after all, whatever earnings I did, is my earnings. So wife is the equal owner of it. So when I have to allocate funds, earlier we had an habit, mail hai to de diya, check de diya, ye diya. She made me understand that you have to ask me sometime. It is for your good. And hence, since those, I always ask her that should we do it. When I was investing in KP Energy, we had 1 crore. She always wanted to have an FD for her. Because we are from equity market, we don't understand FD, we don't have insurance, we have no provident fund account. So, because we wanted to buy a new home. So I said if we invest now, we won't be able to buy home for another 3-4 years, but this kind of investment opportunity will not come because it's a summation of my long journey from 84 till 2016. She said, okay, do it. Had she said no, I might not have done KP Energy. I have made a lot of money, but KP Energy changed the trajectory in terms of money. So that's her contribution. Even Valencia, she restricts me from going overboard in terms of mind share and all. When I reach home, she struggles and quarrels with me that now stop. Let's talk something else and all. Now we have a palatial home by the grace of God. But I want to work more, try and use my intelligence, create something better. But she brings me to the life.
So basically, she helps you create that balance.
What balance? No balance. She manages me. Balance is a small word, because I am too much engrossed in business from my early childhood. I wanted to become a rich man and a successful and powerful man from my early age. And many of my friends still remember that you used to say this early. And I was being joked also by some people in those time, it's normal among communities and all, that he wants to be Tata. And my name is MT, Manish Turakhia and Tata. So MT Tata. MT means hello, Tata. But I was what I was. And she recognized me and she's, most of our conversations are also pertaining to business. Or it's shopping or it's for holiday. Shopping, holiday, how much time it takes to discuss.
Right.
So she balances me, no doubt.
Got it. So before I let you go, I do want to get your word of advice for both, the people who are starting their investment journey or their entrepreneurial journey. What piece of advice would you want to give to them?
It's not something, advice should be the word used, because I can share what I feel good. First piece of advice, or rather suggestion, would be educate yourself well. If you are not educated, you discipline yourself well. That is fine. Take care of your health, which I mentioned earlier. Eat properly, vegetarian food. Select good wife. Or if you are female, select good husband. This is a vital thing for any success or failure of any gender.
Right.
These are the statements from even many successful people. And maintain that relationship all throughout the journey, because life evolves. Allow your wife also to grow along with you. That's few of my cousins only have observed that only male grows, female doesn't grow. Reason being, we don't allow them to grow. I'm talking about in the Indian context. We have to change, and we have to bring our life partner in terms of male, your wife, together in all the meetings. It helps you in many ways, it relaxes you in many ways, and it adds to your sharpness, or what you can say, cutting edge, in a manner in which nothing else can sharpen your edge. I have experienced it. So this is one advice. Maintain financial discipline, and there is a long lectures on financial discipline. A lot of Googling can be done on that. And about business, one should never ever think of a small business. Always think of a global scale business. In today's world, if you are not planning for global market, you cannot plan for Indian market. You cannot even plan for a market in Bombay. There is a word written by me in the office: plan only scalable business model. It gets erased, I again make them right. So even our young executives also have that band of mind. That cost has to go down for day one. We have started perfumes now. Earlier, the normal model, you let the 1 crore, 2 crore get burned, and then that's how VC or private equity kind of a proposal moves. Why so luxury of burning capital? Capital is a hard burned resources of some family who have worked 30, 40, 50 years ago. You have to use it correctly. There should not be burning of outside capital. You may burn your capital if you want. That is also incorrect, because you have also worked hard. So from the first consignment only, it should be profitable. And only trick is to bring down the cost. Moment somebody talks of startups, in our Valencia nutrition, I observed as an investor, it was a high cost syndrome. Everything was at high price. Peon salary was high, executive salary was high, Salesforce salary were very high. Number of Salesforce personals were 86, and we had only one plant, which was again not running properly. That killed the entire cash burn of 17 crore 20 lakhs, which is pre-IPO and IPO money, is because of all this. You cannot deal capital with a luxury. You have to deal the same way you deal with your kid, who is about 3-4 years. How much care you take, the same way capital have to be treated. External capital. Whoever has invested in you, even sovereign fund may would have invested in you. Sovereign fund wealth is also wealth of that nation, which is used to be used for their own people. You have to use it properly. No cash burning is never allowed. It should not be your criteria when you're deciding any business plan. Yeah, you can say cash burning in terms of product development or some kind of a taste marketing. That is fine, but that is small in number. We did test marketing for our canned beverages in 2023. We invested about 20 lakhs. We learned from it. We lost 20 lakhs, but we learned. As a company, we are learning. Today, many promoters and young people have a habit of going alone. No. Today, this is not a world of going alone. You have to have a corporate format. You need person for everything. Even chartered accountants, company secretaries, lawyers, statutory auditors, bankers, compliances of GST, income tax, TDS, all this is a separate. These are mandatory things. You cannot ignore it. If you ignore it, SMS will keep coming and mobile, even email will come. I ensure that none of these compliances are sacrificed. There, whatever you pay, suppose, and for that there is some cash burn initially, it is all right. It disciplines you actually. But you spending money on just product developing as semi-finished product or under-researched product, hiring many people, going for extravagant marketings. That's very. I must say it's monkey behaviors. No, your behaviors have to be of a lion. He will not move unless he needs it. So that's the advice.
That makes perfect sense. Thank you so much, Manish, for joining us. This was a very insightful conversation, and I sure learned a lot. Thank you so much for joining.
My pleasure.